Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone for our today's session. Today we will be hearing this wonderful session of 6 opulences of Krishna, and we have our esteemed guest with us. So let us start our today's session with the first opulence of Krishna, that is beauty. So to explain to all of us about this opulence of Krishna, we have our very distinguished guest amongst us. So I'll just share with all of you the credentials of Prabhuji. So here is His Grace Premarnam Prabhuji. So I'd like to welcome Prabhuji with us by loudly chanting Hari Bol. So let us see some of the qualifications of Prabhuji. So Prabhuji is actually the president of ISKCON Kanpur since 2012. He is a member of IAAC, that is the ISKCON all over the world as advisory board, and then vice chairman of IIYC. He has done his engineering and his post-graduation from Pune University. He served as vice chairman from during the time of 2009 to 12. He is a faculty of spiritual science courses like Bhakti Shastri and others. He was instrumental in setting up the biggest anti-addiction program for the youths all across UP, which was very successful and attended by more than 15,000 students. That was named Expression. So that was a very big program Prabhuji led. Then Youth Mentor, he was guiding professionals, youth congregation across the nation. And Prabhuji also conducts seminars for all the students and corporates throughout the year. So we are very blessed and fortunate to have the association of Prabhuji. So we request Prabhuji to speak on the opulence of beauty. Hare Krishna.
Am I audible?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Vaibhav. First of all, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to His Grace Radheshyam Prabhu, who is my Shiksha Guru and a mentor. And he has been conducting this Utkarsh festival since more than 1.5 decades. 2006, I believe it started. And it's really creating a wonderful environment for all students actually to develop their character competence with the devotion to the Lord Krishna and inspiring hundreds and thousands of youths all over India. I also would like to express the gratitude to the team of the devotees who are organizing it, making it online. And of course, all of you for being present here today. And this Utkarsha festival during the lockdown is really kind of a blessings, bringing a lot of joy in association of Vaishnavas very nicely. So, as Vaibhav introduced, today's topic for discussion is 6 opulence of Krishna, and this will be conducted in a couple of days, today and tomorrow, by various speakers. Today, Hare Krishna Prabhu and myself, we are going to speak. So let us begin with the prayers to the Lordships, who is the most beautiful Lord. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunditam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Aham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि श्री गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Once again, thank you all for joining. Our topic for today's discussion is the 6 opulences of Krishna. In fact, you all will recall in DYS Discover Yourself session course 6, where we were finding the real eternal love. There we already discussed and touched to this topic of 6 opulences of Krishna. Here we are discussing this in connection with a sequence what we discussed, that understanding of the nature of the Lord and having more understanding of scientific understanding of how the deity is Lord himself and the Lord is reciprocates with his devotees. We also saw this Sakshi Gopal drama and wonderful the search of Bhrigu Muni. He was trying to look for who is the supreme. So here, the Parashar Muni, who is a father of Vyasadev, literary incarnation of the Lord, who compiled all Vedic literature. His father, he gave a wonderful, amazing definition of what Bhagavan means, or God means, or the 6 opulences of Krishna describes in that definition. So this is mentioned in the Vishnu Puran. It says, Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashashriyah jnana vairagyashchaiva shannama bhaga itingana. It says, full wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, renunciation. These are the 6 opulences of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this term Bhagavan, which is very similar to like Vidwan or Himavan or Dayavan. Van means possess and Vid means knowledge. Vidwan means who is knowledgeable personality. Himavan means the ice berth. So he possesses Himalaya, Himavan, and Dayavan. So similarly Bhagavan. Bhaga means opulences. And Parashar Muni gives this understanding that one who has these 6 opulences in full is called as God, Bhagavan. What are those opulences? Wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. So all these 6 things. So generally, in the world we see there are reflections of that. Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yadyad vibhuti mat sattva srimad urjita eva tattat evava gachatvam mama teja amsha sambhava. So he says that whatever splendors you see all around in the material world, that is nothing but a fraction of my energy or beauty or his opulence. And these opulences actually are manifested in the material world, but they are not in a good, full majesty. Whereas Lord Krishna possesses it simultaneously, all six opulences. He have it in infinite quantity and he eternally possesses that. So this is the main characteristic about Krishna having these opulences. In general, we see in the material world, person may have one opulence, maybe he's very famous, maybe he's very intelligent, maybe he's very, very wealthy personality, top richest man in the world. But still, there are limitations for him. What limitations are there? He doesn't possess it simultaneously, all opulences. He has one of them, not all six of them. Or at the max, he may have two. He may be very famous, maybe richest, like that, or maybe very beautiful and very rich. But one can't have all six opulences in the creation in full. So this is Supreme Lord actually. In fact, we see in the material world, there are stars who are very good looking and they're very appreciated by the fans, audience. But when there's some song to be sing, then there's a dubbed voice is there because he has to take help of another opulence from another personality, somebody like Lata Mangeshkar or some personality, another person. He sings in the background and then they have to combine like that. So people, they have to take help of others to prove one particular thing. But in the Supreme Lord, Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yashasya, Shriya, Jnana, Vairagya, all six, they are simultaneously present in Krishna. Krishna, when he brought 16,108 queens to Dwarka, he immediately built the palaces for them. He was very rich. And he was simultaneously present everywhere also. He was very beautiful also. Another aspect of what we are saying is infinite. He possesses not in quantity, small quantity, like somebody person, maybe the richest person in the world or the most beautiful person in the world. But he is not a sum total of all beauty. Or the person who is the richest of the world, he cannot have the whole riches in his pocket or in his bank. Like they say, na, somebody can be Lakpati, somebody can be Karodpati, somebody can be Kharapati, Arabpati, Kharapati, but nobody can be Lakshmipati. The Supreme Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, he is the only Lakshmipati. So Krishna possesses the beauty or the strength. We will see all these in details, and I'm just introducing the topic to all the audience that he possesses is infinitely. Whatever opulence he has renunciation infinitely. He has a beauty or yasha is infinite. Everything is infinite. And last one, third one was eternally. In this material world, we see person may have opulence, but that opulence is for some period of time. Maybe he stands a beauty queen or she stands as a beauty queen for 1 year. Next year, we have to go for another contest is there. Or the richest man in the world, every year it keeps changing. Of course, person like Bill Gates was there for a long time on the rank. Nobody was coming closer to him. But of course, he also had to leave the post, the top man. So somebody else came. So every year it goes on. So the person cannot have it eternally. Or at the max, he may possess it, some of the opulence for 20, 30, 40, 60 or maximum 100 years, not more than that. But Krishna, he possesses it eternally. So this is the amazing beauty of Krishna, how he possesses all opulences, all six in simultaneously, all together. Second one is infinitely, and third one is eternally. So all our preachers, devotees will be covering today and tomorrow the different aspects. So we will focus today now mostly on the beauty aspect. So I'll just share a small PowerPoint with all of you. beauty of the Supreme Lord. Yeah. Lavanya, beauty. Everybody is attracted actually. You see everywhere the attraction principle is there governing in all over the creation, whether it is in the human beings or in the animals or in the plants, attraction is there. And what to speak of when we go to some places, especially now in the rainy season like this, nature's beauty is very, very attractive. Person gets attracted to that. Amazing, the marvelous beauty created by the Lord's creation. Even a small butterfly like this is very attractive. When you really see them moving from one flower to another flower. Or there's some peacock like this, which goes and goes from trees to tree. These are the amazing places. This is like a forest. It's very nice to have a walk in this forest. And we really get attracted by this beauty. This is the sunset. The amazing cloud on the top. It's looking like as if the mountain range is there on the upside down. That is a reflection of that. So these are the amazing beauties actually of the material creation. They are really attractive for a person. However, Srila Prabhupada says that nature's beauty is a reflection of Krishna's beauty. And nature's beauty, it has its own limitations. This nature's beauty, if you want to see, sometimes there's very famous Konkan railways there in Maharashtra. It starts from Mumbai and goes till Kerala down. And all the coastal side, you get to see very beautiful scenes there. But they can't remain the same, especially when the summer comes. It changes. It doesn't last for a long time. It changes. In fact, if you see today's cosmetic industry, billions of dollars are being invested into for the purpose of making sure that they enhance the beauty of a person or makes it prolonged for some more period of time. So this is how the beauty is a governing principle everywhere, in all spheres, in every place and every person's life. However, we see the interesting aspect of the beauty, it is more attracted to the same species. The man is there, he may be getting attracted to woman, or woman is getting attracted to the man. Or in the animals, the dog is getting attracted to the she dog, or the cockroach is getting to she cockroach. They don't get attracted to otherwise, the other species. But here, we see Lord Krishna's beauty is most amazing. How it is amazing? Because when Krishna, his beauty is most attractive to all personalities actually. Supreme Lord Krishna lives in the wonderful Vrindavan. And Vrindavan is a place where everybody is staying with a lot of harmony, beauty. It is said Vrindavan is such a place, there is no envy there, and everybody is there for the pleasure and glorifying the Supreme Lord Krishna because it's so attractive, so beautiful. Even it is said that when there's a singing competition, the koyal, the peacock, the different varieties of the birds, when they sing, but as soon as there's one small bumblebee, she comes singing and attempts to sing the glorify Krishna with her own sound. All other they stops and they listen very carefully, attentively to the bee because she's glorifying Krishna. They all are attracted to Krishna because Krishna is so beautiful. In such place where the cows, monkeys, peacock, gopas, gopis, Nanda Baba, Yashoda Mai, they all are attracted to Krishna. And they really want to see and keep seeing Krishna. In fact, the gopis, they say that what is this? The creator, he doesn't have proper intelligence actually. Basically, when Krishna was there and they were watching Krishna, so they were praying it. There is one famous place, a song called as Gopi Geet. In that they say that, oh Krishna, when you are there in the Vrindavan, we are very happy. But when you go in the daytime with your coward boyfriends in the forest, you go to the forest and then we are unable to see you. So fraction of the second looks like millions of years for us. And then he says the creator, he doesn't have proper intelligence actually. They are cursing the Brahmaji. For what purpose? That he has created the eyelids because they keep blinking little like this. And because of that, we are unable to see Krishna continuously. So gopis are attracted to Krishna so much. And we also see the cows, the monkeys, the peacocks, they all are attracted. In fact, in the material world, this Cupid is very, very famous. On Valentine's Day, we have Cupid's photos or photographs shared on the Facebook and WhatsApp and everywhere because it's very attractive, Cupid. But Lord Krishna is called as is attractor of thousands of Cupids. Madana Mohana, because he attracts thousands of Madanas. Cupid is also called as Madan, and Krishna is Madana Mohan. So gopis, when they were glorifying Krishna, they were saying, "Oh Krishna, you are the essence of all loveliness." That means whatever beautiful thing we see in the whole creation, that is the sum total we get together, that is Krishna's beauty. They say that your beauty is asama urdhva. It's unparalleled. Nobody is equal to you. And what to speak of somebody above you? Nobody is actually. And he says, anybody sees Krishna to you, it is actually they want to see Krishna more and more. So in this regard, there's a wonderful story actually. One of the Acharya from South India is called as Ramanujacharya. This Acharya was there and he was conducting a very beautiful, very wonderful procession of Lord Ranganath. And Lord Ranganatha's procession was going on. Everybody was there. There was band, there was elephants, there were camels, and there were chariots, and everybody coming with a lot of offerings, singing for the Lord, glorifying the Lord, and big procession was going on. And everybody was engaged fully in seeing the beauty of Lord Ranganath and his procession and his opulence, glorifying by kirtans and bhajans. Whereas with Ramanujacharya, he had a different all side together. He saw one person was there. He was walking with an umbrella, holding an umbrella above one girl. She was his wife. And as she was walking, he was carrying the umbrella. And Ramanujacharya was quite shocked. He said, "What is this person? He doesn't have little shame. Lord has been so much nicely glorified here. And this person is holding an umbrella," and started looking. Being an Acharya, he felt that this person need to be really given the proper knowledge and understanding that how he should behave. He sent one of his devotees and said, "Just call him, talk to him." And when they called him, said, "Are you not ashamed in such a procession like Lord Ranganath? You are looking at your wife's face?" He said, "What can I do? I don't have any other beautiful eyes to see in the whole creation. I am so much attracted to that, my wife's eyes actually." And the Lord Ramanujacharya said, he understood what is the problem. He said, "What if I show you the beautiful and more attractive eyes than that?" This person said, his name was Dhanurdas, he said, "If you show me that, I will never ever see this. I will worship that eyes now." The Supreme Lord is very attractive, and his Lord's pure devotees, they have a power to show what the Lord is. So immediately Ramanujacharya took him to Lord Ranganath. And when he took to the Lord Ranganath and started describing the beauty of Lord Ranganath, immediately this Dhanurdas, he started hearing. And as he was hearing and as he was continuously absorbing into the beautiful darshan of the Lord Ranganath, his eyes were completely stuck to the lotus feet and lotus face of the Lord. And he was completely attracted to Lord Ranganath. And then he said, "Now onwards, I will not see any other eyes than this of the Lord Ranganath." And after that, he becomes one of the very, very devoted disciple and servant of Ramanujacharya. And he exhibits such an amazing devotion to the Guru and Krishna. So this is how beauty in this material world, which is attractive, but it's temporary and illusory. Whereas the beauty of the Lord, that is eternal and it is satisfying completely. In comparison, when there's a comparison going on, it is said that the worldly beauty, if you take the most beautiful personality in the creation, that will be like an old woman or kind of a cockroach in front of the heavenly damsels, actually, the Swarga Apsaras. And all those Apsaras in the Swarga heavenly planet, they are also not as beautiful as the residents in the spiritual world abode of the Lord. They are like a old woman in front of the spiritual beauty of the gopis. That's so attractive, so beautiful. So in comparison wise, we can see that what we appreciate in the material world and what the Supreme Lord in the spiritual world, that's no comparison. In fact, it is said, Lakshmi Sahasra Sata Sambrama Sevamanam Govinda Madibhusham Tamaham Bhajan. The Supreme Lord Govinda, to attract his favor, the all beauty queens, the gopis or Lakshmis, Mahishis, they are just blooming in the spiritual world, although there is no dust, but just to get a favor and attention of the Lord, that these are some people who are helping to clean or to render service to the Supreme Lord. And that's how the gopis or the Mahishis, they are serving continuously actually in the spiritual world. So this is the beauty. And beauty of the Supreme Lord is very transcendental. Just like sometimes when we see in the material world, we see most beautiful, then there is a feeling of passion arose in the heart that I want to enjoy it to my satisfaction. But in the spiritual beauty, it's very different. Actually, Lord Krishna and his spiritual abode, it is described that Srimad Bhagavatam says there are very beautiful heavenly damsels or the world, the spiritual world, the women's and the male. They are flying in a very amazing aeroplane. And when they are flying in the amazing aeroplane, they are going into the pleasure groves and the gardens and the lakes and mountains. Beautiful demigods, beautiful demigoddesses are there. But there is a no small tinge of passion arose in their heart. They don't want to enjoy each other. Generally, we see in the material world when the male and female come together and they are in a very beautiful place, natural feeling comes is I want to enjoy them. But in the spiritual world, although they are very beautiful, although they are in a very good place, but still they don't develop that passion in their mind and heart to enjoy each other because they all are attracted to the Supreme Lord. They may be very beautiful, they may be in a very nice situation, but they are so absorbed, their minds are so absorbed in the beauty of the Lord, they always think that, oh, how beautiful, how attractive this person is. And serving that personality is actually the goal of my life. That's how the person starts thinking his life. So I will end with one small thing, that how the beauty of the Lord is really attractive. At the same time, the personality, which is transcendental form of the Lord, is beautiful. Along with that, Lord's character, the personality, is also very, very beautiful. His relationships are also very, very beautiful. He is so merciful. He is so compassionate. He is so friendly. I will end with one small example. How we can compare two examples of two friends. One is Drupad and Dronacharya, and another one is Krishna and Sudama. So Drupad and Dronacharya, they were also Gurukuli students together in one Guru's ashram, and Krishna and Sudama were also students in one Sandipani Muni's ashram. When Drupad and Dronacharya, they went and they became a big person. The Drupad became a king and Dronacharya became a big Brahmana. But when Dronacharya was in difficulty and when he came to take help from the Drupad, so Drupad was a little neglectful. He said, hey, what is this poor Brahmana? I am a very big king. How can I be a friend to him? Now he'll start identifying with me and ask some lot of connectivity in that or benefits. And he neglected actually Dronacharya. And then another side, Dronacharya became so revengeful towards his friend, old friend at, oh, we were so good friend, but now you neglect me. In my need, you are not supporting me. They become very neglectful. So that kind of relation they have. Whereas Krishna and Sudama, they were also Gurukul friends. When they became big, Krishna became a Dwarkadish and Sudama became a very poor Brahmin. In fact, his wife forced him to go there and ask something. But Sudama felt, oh, it's a good opportunity for me to go and associate and have a nice talk with my friend. And that's why Sudama came there. And when Sudama came there, Krishna was, when he came to know that he has some old, tattered, clothed, weird Brahmana has come who calls himself Sudama, a friend of Krishna. Krishna left all opulences of the Dwarka, his queens, and he just started running towards the gate just to receive his dear friend. And he spent so much time, not only spent so much time, he personally performed so much arati for him. He made make him sit on his own bedstead and made him feed so much of nice opulent food. And Rukmani Devi personally was putting chamar. So that is a beauty of Lord Krishna's personality, the culture. That's also very, very beautiful. So there's one saying, Adharam Madhuram, Nayanam Madhuram, Asitam Madhuram. So Lord Krishna, everything is Madhuram. His beauty is Madhuram and his character also is Madhuram. So thank you very much for your patient and attentive listening. Now we have further speaker, Hare Krishna Prabhu, and he will continue his further talk on the second aspect of Lord Krishna's opulence. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Krishna Bhagavan ki jai.
Jai. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, for so wonderfully explaining to all of us the aspect of beauty of Lord Shri Krishna by so many examples from Shastras. We would like to all thank very heartily His Grace Premanam Prabhuji by loudly chanting one time, Hari Bol! Hare Krishna. So now I'd like to introduce to all of you our next speaker, who is His Grace Hare Krishnanand Prabhuji. So let me give introduction of Prabhuji to all of you. Let me share one screen, 1 minute. So Prabhuji, welcome to this Opulence of Krishna program, and let me introduce to you to all the students. So this Prabhuji has been always a topper in university. He was 5th during his BTech. He is currently an associate professor in NIT Warangal, and during his institute in MTech, he was the 2nd topper all over. He is currently the head and of the geotechnical division in NIT Warangal. Prabhuji is vice president of the Teachers Association there, secretary of Indian Geotechnical Society, got the best technical paper in India award from the Institute of Engineers in London in 2015. Government of India also selected Prabhuji for University of Texas for the research purposes. As I told, currently Prabhuji is Associate Dean and Research, and then Prabhuji has experience of 20 years of teaching and 14 years in research, published 16 international journals, attended 58 conferences, and also Prabhuji has published 1 international book. Prabhuji is advisor of Civil Engineering Association and an advisor of the Center for Value Education as well. So we are very delighted amongst us to have Prabhuji. Also one more qualification, one more very wonderful qualification which Prabhuji has been awarded as the Best Citizen of India award by the International Publishing House. So we are very fortunate to have Prabhuji with us, and we will be hearing from Prabhuji on the aspect of the opulence of strength. So let us welcome Prabhuji with us by loudly chanting 3 times, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for kind words. Vaibhav Prabhu, so nice of you. I am greatly delighted to be amongst you. And as a successor of Prem Harinam Prabhu, I'll try my best, because you have tasted a a rasgulla and gulab jamun. Now you may be, sometimes some of you may be feeling karela hoga, but I assure you, I'll give you some sweet things because he has given such a sweet lecture on wonderful aspect of beauty of the Lord. I'm going for the other extreme, that is the strength of the Lord. I'll try my best. Thank you, Prabhuji. Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Brunda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. I like to have a small PPT. I'm sharing that one. I'm trying to share this. Hope it is visible for all of you, please. It is coming on.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
It is visible.
So today we are going to have a small talk on strength aspect of Lord Krishna. And after seeing the beauty aspect, we may be interested, we may be delighted to have the strength aspect also. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is being said that Ete chamsakala pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mrudayanti Yuge Yuge. He see, it being said that of all the incarnations, whatever has been mentioned, whether they are plenary portions or portions of the plenary portions of the Lord Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. It is being clearly said in this sloka that Lord Krishna is the original personality. He is not an incarnation. He came as a Toto, as original person of Godhead. And it is also said that all of them appear on planets whenever there is a disturbance created by the atheists. Of course, in each yuga, there are circumstances wherein Krishna will be coming to save the pious people and to punish the miscreants. So friends, it is being said, Sambhavami yuge yuge, I'll come every yuga to just make dharma to be staying there, to keep dharma at its place. I am there to serve all the people. So it is clearly being said in this sloka that the Lord incarnates to protect the theists who are followers of the Lord. It is sure that he will be there as a protector, either as Lord Rama or Narsimha or Krishna or whatever form you take, he is there. Now, whenever we are using that word Bhagavan Swayam, what is that Bhagavan? As might have been told by previous speakers, this Sanskrit word Bhagavan is explained by Parasara Muni, who is the father of Vyasadeva. He is the authority of all the scriptures. He says the person who possesses these 6 qualities in full, please remember these 6 things in full, then we have to name him as Bhagavan. What are the 6 things? All riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, all renunciation. That person is called Bhagavan. Now, I'll take a simple example. Number 1, a person who has all riches. What do you mean by this? It is meant that it is not only Bill Gates, it is not only any Reliance company, any person, they will be having a part X, Y, Z, 10%, 20%, 30% of the entire economy of the entire world. It is not like that. That person who has all this, either dollars or euros or rupees, whatever you say, all things must be his property. That type of all riches, he is called supreme person. He will be having all riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, all renunciation. Certainly, if you search, not only in Google, any search machine you go, you try your best, you will not be finding the person who will satisfy these 6 opulences. So these 6 opulences, that as we said, Aishwarya, Virya, Yashasha, Shriya, Jnana, and Vairagya. These are the 6 opulences that were given by the Lord, possessed by the Lord. We many times see the beauty, some portion in some of them, wealth to some extent with some of them, knowledge to some extent with some scientists or great people, strength with some bodybuilders or fighters, somebody like that, a part of it, and fame, that's also only for a certain period. Whenever they are living or when they pass, only once in a year they will be remembering those persons, that is the fame. And renunciation, These are the 6 opulences that are generally possessed by the Lord. That type of person is only one and only Bhagavan, that is Lord Krishna, who has beauty, strength, fame, knowledge, wealth, and renunciation. Who that is? Bhagavan. Now, coming to the strength aspect, what type of strength he has? All of us came out of the womb of our mother. In the childhood times, when we are born, months, babies, we don't have any strength at all to tolerate, to combat, to fight with any enemies. Just we are surrendered to ants or mosquitoes, all these things they used to torture us. But never we had a tendency of showing our strength. But Lord Krishna, when he's months baby, when he's just taking milk from his mother's breast, when Putana came as not as a enemy, as a damsel, like she's like Devakanya with so much of beauty. When she came, all the Vrindavan vasis there totally bowled out. Hey, Devakanya आया, किसके लिए आया? कृष्णा को दूध पिलाने के लिए. क्यों दूध पिलाने का है? इसको बहुत strength आएगा. So with that concept, even the mother of Krishna, she invited that Putana, who is in the form of a great damsel, and she came and she started feeding her breast milk to Krishna. Krishna could visualize, understand, felt the inner meaning of Putana's endeavor. Immediately, although he is sucking the milk from the breast of Putana, he sucked her Atma also. She cried like anything. He has not fight with Putana, just he sucked out her life force. Her Atma came out of her body. The same 7-mile body, she was lying on the ground. And it's just like an ant before an elephant. Krishna is crawling on the body of Putana, and he was enjoying that pastime. Not only Putana, Sakatashura, although he was also a small child who is taking rest below the bullock cart, so Sakatashura came as a big wind and he blew out. Krishna could kill him. And along with them, there are so many people, Trinavarta, Nalakuvera, Manigriva. He has made us to understand what strength he has. Many times these natural calamities, it can be swirling wind, it can be floods, it can be earthquakes. All of us, we are bowed down. We should bow down to the nature power. But Krishna, although the Trinavarta came as a swirling wind, he could manage the show. He could bend him down. He could torture him. He made him fell on the ground. Although it is so forceful, he could make it. And as we generally celebrate our pastimes of Damodar, Lord Damodar, when he was tied to that mortar, he just is crawling, crawling, came to the garden, and he was caught between 2 trees, and he pulled them. He pulled it so forcibly, the 2 trees became 2 great demigods, Nalakuvera, Manigriva. Like this, there are so many pastimes of Krishna's strength. What about Vatsasura, and what about Bakasura, Agasura, Kaliya? These 2 things, Agasura is so powerful. He has made a big flyover or a bridge wherein his tongue was felt like a road. And all the people started walking. Hey, Nayarodaya, Nayarodaya. So they went on walking. It may be a bridge like that, they thought. And Krishna was just vigilant. And when they entered, he could visualize the culprit, Agasura. And he immediately went and he could break that big Agasura to 2 pieces. That is the strength of Krishna. And with a single blow, he could puncture the entire tube of this great snake, Agasura. What to speak of Kaliya? All of us heard this pastime. We know that when he was playing in the banks of the river, and when this Kaliya came, and he was making this entire water so poisonous with his poison, all the cows, calves, people, friends of Krishna are getting affected. He could not tolerate that bad thing by Kaliya, and he went into the river water and he started fighting. And how he fight? It was a great fight. And at the end, he could jump onto the hoods of this Kaliya. And This Yamuna water is totally aghast. So it is getting so much of turbulence. Entire Yamuna is turbulent. And he started dancing on the hoods of Kalia. We also have seen dancers dancing. How they dance? They dance on the floor, a proper floor with good friction. So if it's smooth surface is there, when we are walking sometimes, if it is slippery, we slip off on a smooth floor. What to speak of the skin of the snake? It is so smooth. Nobody can easily catch it also. It becomes slippery. But Krishna could keep his foot on the top of Kalia's hoods and he started dancing Bharatanatyam on the hoods of Kalia. With each jump, with each step, he is making vomiting of the poison from Kalia. That is the greatness, that is the strength of Lord Krishna. So like this, he could clear off all the poison which is there in the entire body of Kalia out of his body. Once the poison came out, Kalia came to his normalcy and he pleaded Krishna, just just given sanction to. He is so compassionate and he was tolerant to the Kalia also. Like this, if you take Keshi, he is in a horse form. And what about the strength of Keshi? Sorry. Yeah, and similarly, Aristasura Keshi, we generally represent the power of an engine with horse. Horse power, we'll say 1 HP, 2 HP, 5 HP, 10 HP. Horse has that much of power. So he could even combat the Keshi, which was in the form of a horse. And Aristasura, then he has gone for Vyomasura, and even Brahma, he could make him understand the power of Krishna, the strength of Krishna. He could take all forms. All friends were taken by the form of Krishna. Even the cows and calves, they were from Krishna's form. Like that, he could he could give punishment to Brahma also. Then, very importantly, our Govardhan, lifting of Govardhan. What a great pastime. That Indra, evil Indra, he thought, who is this small boy who is controlling entire Vrindavan? He is not hearing my order. I will punish him like anything. He went on pouring so much of rain. But Krishna could lift the big umbrella who entire humanity might have not dreamt of. What to speak of a small book or a paper? He lifted entire Govardhan. When he is lifting Govardhan, his mother came. Krishna, you are a small boy, 7-year-old small boy. How you are able to take that much of load with your palm? He says, Mama, hey, itna weight nahi hai. It's very light in weight. You see, I'm able to take it on my small finger. What is the strength of our small finger? Do we represent the small finger for any good thing? From our childhood, we may be using this one from small, silly representation, going to toilet, something like that. But the same small finger was used by Krishna to lift Govardhan Parvat. And this Govardhan Parvat, he lifted it not for 1 minute, 2 minute, half second. No, he lifted it for 7 days and 7 nights continuously. See the strength of Krishna. And what to speak of, I don't know how many of you might be able to understand so much of engineering aspect of lifting anything. When you try to lift anything, you might have seen in recently Tokyo Olympics. I don't know how many of you know the maximum weight lifted by any weightlifter is 488 kgs. That is the maximum weight any person could lift. But Lord Krishna has lifted entire Govardhan Parvat. This Govardhan, which is there near Vrindavan, it's so long, so huge, so heavy. How can a person of such a small age can be able to lift? It is not by any material calculations it is possible. It is beyond our material calculations. It is just because of that spiritual spirit which made him to be able to lift that entire Govardhan Parvat. And mind you, this Govardhan is not a circular one. It is not regular shaped. It is not either square or rectangular or circle, please. It is just like oval shape. Those of you who are in engineering, you might have studied about engineering mechanics. When you go for mechanics, whether it is statics or dynamics of any aspect you take of this physics, this science, we need to understand there is a center of gravity issue whenever you are lifting anything. And what is the approximate weight of Govardhan? Govardhan Parvat. It is not few kgs, it is crores of kilograms. By any material standard, material calculations, whatever formula used, generally any weight we calculate with simple equation, that is volume into unit weight or density, that will give the weight of the any member. Whether it is a brick, cement bag, steel or concrete or anything you take, weight can be achieved just by multiplying volume of that solid, volume of that piece, volume of that substance multiplied by its unit weight or density. By any standards, if you take rock, in general in civil engineering, those who are in civil engineering, they may be knowing specific gravity, maybe 2 to 2.5, something like that. Unit weight will be 2.5 ton per meter cube, rock. So if we go for this basic dimensions of this Govardhan Parvat, from Google you can search, it is around 5 kilometers in length and it will be around 1 kilometer in width. So its height is around 30 meters in maximum height, and the minimum height is around 10 meters. So if you take average, it will be coming to 15 meters. So the length is around 5 kilometers and width is approximately 1 kilometer. If you take the volume of this Govardhan Parvat, multiply by unit weight of stone, whatever rock, it is coming to be so much of crores of tons. You please see, it is crores of tons weight. So it is minimum of 10 crore tons or 10,000 crore kilograms. As humans, we are getting Olympic gold medal just if we can lift 500 kilos, 488 kilos in recent Tokyo Olympics. But Krishna could lift 10,000 crore kilograms of Govardhan Parvat. Not for few minutes, he stood it for so much of time, 7 days, 7 nights together continuously, without sleep, without rest, without food, without any sweating or nothing. I don't know how many of you seen when the weightlifters is lifting that weight in any competitions, they will be holding that one, they will be shivering sometimes. Just after holding for small amount of time, just they will be dumping it. They cannot hold for long. And mind you, friends, there are so many casualties and fractures. Sometimes they will be having a lot of issues with elbows, and they will be having so many fractures if doesn't lift properly. But Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, doesn't have any issues like that. He could just lift it like a paper. Many of us will lift anything so easily. It can be small paper like this. We will be able to lift. But this needs some support, at least like a tripod, like a stable. We need 3 to 4 supports. With a single thing, you try at your house, at your rooms, how you will be able to make this one standing with a single pinpoint thing. It is very difficult. So that is the greatness, that is the strength and power of Lord Sri Krishna. And if you take any weight items, because I am a civil engineer by profession, I have taken civil engineering examples. We will be seeing so many buildings, wonderful, beautiful architecture buildings. They will be having so many foundations, which may not be visible for you. Every building will be having so many foundations. Each column has to have good foundation. Just like as I am showing, it may be a slab. Slab will be resting on columns. Column has to transfer the load to foundation. This is a general principle. But L&T ECC in Chennai has gone for such a wonderful building, which is entire building resting on one pillar, one column. But this column is so huge. 2 meters width, 3 meters wide, huge column, heavily reinforced with a lot of good foundation for this. This is minimum. And the basic principle of mechanics, if you take, they should have, they might had, it is must and should that they should have taken center of gravity principle, and they might have satisfied it. And it's a totally similar kind of structure all around the world, symmetrical from the center of the building. That is the structure. That is way they planned, designed, and executed this building. And without that, it is not possible to rest the building. You can, any one of you from Chennai, you can go and see this L&T ECC Chennai in Adayar area. You will be finding this one. That is the L&T ECC building. Even in Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, 8th sloka, it is being said that Rasomahubu Kaunteya Prabhasmi Sashishuryayo Pranava Sarva Vedeshu Shabdake Paurusham Rushahu. What he is telling, O son of Kunti, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon. The syllable Om in the Vedic mantras, I am the sound in ether and ability in man. ability in man, that shakti, that strength, whatever strength a man has. Of course, why he is telling man, strength generally out of both genders, men has more strength. So he is telling, I am the strength, ability in man also. So we may be finding so much of bodybuilders, whether it is 4-pack, 6-pack, 8-pack, 10-pack, they'll be doing so much of endeavor to make their body, so much of muscles, the strength aspect. That is what he is telling. I am that power. That strength is myself. Krishna is telling. So similarly, he is telling in 4th chapter also, O son of Partha, know that I am the original seed of all existences, the intelligence of all intelligent, and the prowess of all powerful men. Jo power, the power in a person is myself. The prowess of all powerful men is who? I myself. That is the greatness of Krishna. Nobody can say that I am the strength of everyone, I am the power of every person, but Krishna can say that is given in Bhagavad Gita. So whenever we have seen so many great people, I think, is this video visible, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So whenever we are finding such a type of fighting, there is a punch, a punch given by a person makes the other person just flat on the ground. We call it as a what a punch. So that needs strength. So that type of strength is Krishna. So he is telling, I am the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. I am sex life, which is not contrary to religious principle. Oh Lord of the Bharatas, Arjuna, he is telling, I am the Balam. Balam means it is strength. Balaram, who exhibits that strength aspect of the Lord. He is the Bala. He is the strength of the strong people. And he gives that strength for men to produce children also. He says, I am the sex power. With my intention, with my energy, people are able to do this act to produce children also. Just after marriage, everybody wants children. So for that one, they need that power also. He says, I am that power also. Kamosmi, that also myself. So this is the strength aspect of Lord Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
So
Prabhuji.
we thank Hare Krishna and Prabhuji for such a wonderful session, and especially I was very amazed to see how Govardhan Leela Prabhuji showed that how so much mass is there in Govardhan, and Lord lifted it just in the small finger. So thank you, Prabhuji, for so scientifically and nicely telling this concept of strength, which is there in the Supreme Lord in full. And now we would like to thank Prabhuji by loudly chanting 3 times, Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. So now let us welcome amongst us. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
So now let us welcome amongst us our next speaker for today, who is Dr. Makaran Prabhuji. So Prabhuji will be speaking on the aspect of wealth. So let me first introduce to all of you Prabhuji. I will share you the slide. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
So here is Dr. Makaran Prabhuji. So Prabhuji has completed his graduation and post-graduation and PhD in chemical engineering. Completed PhD from prestigious national chemical laboratories on modeling of multi-phase catalytic reactors. After a brief stint in Belgium, Europe, after his PhD, Prabhuji joined as associate professor in Department of Chemical Engineering in VIT Pune. He was awarded Institute's Outstanding Teachers Award for consecutively 5 years. And Prabhuji is currently functioning in the capacity of Dean Faculty. More than 21 years experience, Prabhuji has rich experience in academics, industry, and research. Also, Prabhuji is involved actively in youth outreach, giving sessions to all students like us, counseling, congregation development, and then conducted many spiritual discourses also in prestigious colleges like IITs, NITs, and IIT. Prabhuji is mentoring youth and conducting spiritual seminars for students in other countries also, like Singapore, Germany, Slovenia, and Belgium. Prabhuji has a special interest in teaching shloka to children and adults. So we are very fortunate to have amongst us today Dr. Makaran Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So let us welcome Prabhuji by loudly chanting one time, Haribo.
Thank you.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So very spirited presentation. Hare Krishna and Prabhu. Dandavas Prabhuji. Happy to see you presenting. So the next opulence that we are going to see today, that is the Krishna's opulence of wealth. So I think this is the second session on the 6 opulences, and the 6 opulences as they are being described by Parashara Muni. Bhagavan, the Lord is. So the Lord is Bhagavan. Bhaga means opulences. Vana means one who possesses. Bhagavan. Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yashashashriya. Jnana Vairagyayoschaiva, Shannam Bhaga Itingana. And the beauty of the Lord is that he possesses all the opulences simultaneously, in fully, and eternally. So this is something which is very rare, that possessing it simultaneously, the opulences. Sometimes we may see somebody who is very rich, but he may not be very powerful. Somebody we may see who is very intelligent, but he may not be very healthy. Like we have seen Stephen Hawking. He was a very intelligent personality, but he was bedridden throughout his life. Somebody may be very beautiful, but he may not be very knowledgeable, right? So, but the Lord is simultaneously everything, and that's why his name is Krishna. What is the meaning of Krishna? Krishna literally in Sanskrit means Karshati Akarshati iti Krishna. One who constantly attracts living entities called as Krishna. And if we carefully see, Prabhupada writes that Krishna, he is personality who is always, these opulences are always attracting us. And today we will see the opulence of wealth that is being described in the Supreme Lord. So when we see the outer sky, there is, always a fascination that where it has come from. In fact, if you see the scientists, they are trying so hard to find out about the sky. They have put it the Hubble telescope. Then there is a Chandra's telescope, which is in the outer side of, it rotates around the outer orbits of the Earth, because they do not want to have any obstruction. And more they are finding, more and more they are getting amazed. In fact, there is a very brilliant scientific statement by Kelvin, Lord Kelvin. Kelvin is the personality who we write about, degree Kelvin, the physicist who discovered minus 273, degrees Celsius plus to make it Kelvin. So he says, if we are scientific enough, you will be forced by science to believe in the existence of God. So this is the original scientists of the world. They started science with the idea that when you appreciate the creation more, automatically our appreciation for creator will also increase. And that's why they started studying the physical phenomena. And the day in and day out, the information that is pouring in, especially about the universe, is phenomenal. So it is said that the modern conservative estimate about how many stars are there in the universe, in one universe, they say that, practically every day to the tune of 200 million to 1 billion new stars are getting born. Now just imagine the number. 1 billion stars, 1 billion is 100 crore stars are getting born every day in the universe. And the multi-universe theory says that this is not just one universe. There are unlimited universes like this. And, and these are just the conservative estimates. till now, whatever knowledge we have. And the Supreme Lord, in the Vedas, it is explained, of course, the Vedas always talk about the multi-universe reality. Science is, post-Einstein, they are now trying to believe in the multi-universe reality. But the Vedic time, Vedas always talked about the time being relative, and ours is not the only universe. In fact, Vedas say ours is the only universe which has the least dimensions, that is the 4 dimensions. Okay, other universes, they have far more dimensions. Which is the 5th dimension? We cannot imagine because we live in the 4-dimension reality. So that's why we cannot, it's beyond us to find out what is that 5th dimension, 6th dimension, and the Vedic descriptions go to the tune of thousands and thousands of dimensions. So the reality is far greater than what we can even conceive of. Just like sometimes a beggar may read the wealth of Mukesh Ambani. He will say that, oh, Mukesh Ambani is worth, $80 billion. So he may be able to count the zeros or, something like that. But that hardly makes a sense because, he has not seen any money more than 20 rupees or 100 rupees. He doesn't know what that kind of money can do and what that kind of money can purchase, what potency it has. Similarly, at best, we can just theoretically say there are thousands of dimensions, but actually we have no understanding. But Vedas do describe that our universe being the smallest universe. The scientific theory talks about the Big Bang and Big Crunch. Again, this is way back spoken in the Vedic times. Not exactly the way Big Bang, but the Vedas explain from where the universes are getting evolved from. So here is you see the very beautiful picture of Mahavishnu. He's lying in the Karana Ocean. Karana Ocean means the causal universe, causal waters. And from there it is said, Yasyaika Nishvasita Kala Mathavalambya Jivanti Loma Vilaja Jagadandanatha Vishnur Mahan Sa Ihayasya Kala Vishesho Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajam. So I worship the primeval Lord Govinda, whose expansion of an expansion. Mind you, the universes are not coming from the Supreme Lord Krishna directly. The Lord expands himself into multivarious forms like Vasudev, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Sankarshan. And then there is a further expansions of the form. And one of the tiny form of the expansion is Mahavishnu. And he says, Yasyaika Nishvasita Kala Mathavalambya. When the Supreme Lord Mahavishnu excels, all these universes are just thrown out in the space. And Jivanti Loma Vilaja Jagadandanatha. Jagadandanatha means Brahma. The engineer of the universe, Lord Brahma, he takes birth, he sustains, and he dies in that duration. And this Mahavishnu just inhales inside, right? The entire, there is from Big Bang, the cycle completes with Big Crunch, and everything is just sucked in. So the time period between exhalation and inhalation of the Supreme Lord, Mahavishnu, is his little more than half a second. It is 8/15th second of Mahavishnu. So 8/15th second of Mahavishnu is equivalent to Jivanti Loma Vilaja Jagadandanatha. Billions and billions of universes are being expanded. And this Mahavishnu is expansion of the Supreme Lord. So who can actually estimate the wealth of the Supreme Lord Krishna? There is a very beautiful description of the wealth of the Lord in Dwaraka. When we generally want to get married, generally one will marry one wife. Some people marry 2, 4 or something like that. And we'll buy some 1 BHK, 2 BHK on EMI, take some loan or something like that. And practically person, is buried in the EMI till the age he is 50. Krishna married 16,108 wives. And when we give this description, people have very funny face. They said that, sir, when Krishna married 16,108 wife, means her wife ka term kitne saal ke baad aata tha? 16,108 divided by 365, right? Barabar hai. So kitna aata hai wo bhai? 16,108 16,108 divided by 365. So that means he could meet each of his wife once in 44 years. So when we have these descriptions, what we forget conveniently is the Lord has Achintya Shakti. Achintya Shakti means the Lord can do what we can do, and Lord can do what we cannot do, and what we even cannot imagine to do. So how did Lord conduct himself? So there is a very beautiful description. Narad Muni was so surprised that Lord has 16,108 wives. So how he must be living in Dwaraka? So he visited Dwaraka. So here you see on the top, there is Narad Muni visiting from one palace to another palace to another palace. And in every palace, the Lord Krishna was present simultaneously. Somebody may say, how can Lord Krishna be present simultaneously? Oh, any superior object can be present simultaneously. Just like when there is a sunrise in India, the sun is present simultaneously in Bombay, in Chennai, in Kolkata, in Delhi, in Pune, in Bangalore, in Jodhpur, in so many places. We can see the same sun being present everywhere. As a child may wonder, sometimes, one child was asking, Papa, you see sun from this window and you see sun from another window also. That means, I have just discovered two suns. So if a material object like sun can expand itself and can be made available at different locations, what to speak of the Supreme Lord, whose, the plenary expansion is responsible for billions of universes. So the Lord, he expanded himself into 108 forms, 16,108 forms. And there was a very beautiful description in Bhagavatam that how these amazing palaces the Lord made in Dwaraka for each of his queen. And they were, filled with so much of exquisite beauty and, so much of very valuable, precious stones were being used there. And he was present simultaneously everywhere. And, practically even the one palace of Dwaraka can buy the entire wealth of this world. And, the Supreme Lord had 16,108 simultaneously, and such his pastimes keep on continuously growing. So the wealth aspect of the Lord is the Lord has eternal wealth. Now, all the opulences of the Supreme Lord, he possesses everything. So we may say that somebody is a rich man. Jeff Bezos is a rich man. Warren Buffett is a rich man. Charlie Munger is a rich man. But they are rich for a while. Again, they don't have all the riches with themselves. American, the GDP is something like $30 trillion. And then they have a part of that GDP as their personal wealth. And somebody has some other wealth. So the Supreme Lord, when he has a wealth, he possesses everything. Everything along with all other opulences. And this is not subject to the, the Forbes list of the top billionaires in the world. No, he's, beyond time, he is the, the richest, the wealthiest. So this is how the universal wealth of the Supreme Lord is possessed. So wealth, when we say, wealth is not always, that we count in terms of wealth. Right. So when somebody, when parents call you or they ask you, are you well? So are you well means that, is your health well? Are you eating well? Are you, are you studying well? Are your relationship with your roommates, hostel mates, they are well? So it is like all encompassing being well. So today we'll see some of the other aspects of the Lord's wealth. Here we have seen the wealth as the wealth of the Lord. Now we'll see the wealth of relationship. The modern times, the millennial generation or practically anybody, okay, they are not so much stressed out because of the money aspect. Money is there. I mean, it's an important thing, no doubt. At the same time, far beyond money, what goes is the relationship. And because in the material world, we come across relationships which are very flimsy and temporary, there is a chance that one may conclude that relationship means problem. So, of course, we begin with relationship means happiness. And then when we experience the frustration in the world, we conclude that relationship means problem. And then people, in the pursuit of their spirituality, they end up becoming voidistic or impersonalistic. They said that no relationship, no personality, no relationship. But here, when we, come across Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, here we come across a personality who is the best for any relationship. Vaishnava Acharyas, they write, whenever you decide to have a relationship with Krishna, he will, maintain and he will conduct that relationship to its crescendo, the best relationship possible. Here we see Krishna being friend. So Krishna was friend to Arjuna, and he's one of the name of Krishna, is Partha Sarathi. So he is driving the chariot of Arjuna. And friend in need, the Arjuna was actually the most dependent warrior. In fact, when the war began, Mahabharata war, there were only 3 warriors, who were on the Pandava side. They were confident of the life. Of course, one was Krishna. Everybody knew he's the, beyond time and space. Another was Arjuna, because he was so skilled warrior. In fact, Arjuna is such a skilled warrior, even the secular world, even they constituted award to be given to the players. The award was named after Arjuna award, right? And of course, the third warrior was Abhimanyu. So, but Arjuna, when practically the battle depended on the existence of Arjuna, and suddenly he came to the Kurukshetra battle, and then when he saw the army, when he saw his own relatives, we are supposed to fight, and he knew this is going to be the final deadly battle. He got, Veputascha sharire me Roma harshascha jayate gandivam samstrate hasta tvak chaiva paridayate. So he just started faltering. He was not able to stand. It's just like, the much awaited India team is going to the England tour, cricket team. And everybody is now saying there that, let us see how Virat is going to perform at England. And, he just comes, he just, just prepares himself and just about to take. And when the bowler starts to take a run up, the Virat suddenly has, his hands are shaking, his leg is shaking, his bat, he's like putting his bat like this, and he just puts the helmet down and he's crying tears and he's saying, this was the condition of Arjuna. And then Krishna said, Arey Arjuna, what are you doing? And Arjuna, he said that, Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapanna. And instantly, when the relationship changed was from being friend to a disciple, the Supreme Lord assumed the role of Guru. And he spoke such a literature. Bhagavad Gita was spoken not out of pre-planned. It was not that, Arjuna said to Krishna that, Krishna, come prepared. I'm going to do this natak of being, little jittery. And you speak Bhagavad Gita and we'll have this question answer. It was not like that. It was full spontaneous. And, and such a Bhagavad Gita for last 5,000 years, thousands of scholars have written on Bhagavad Gita. Correct. Bhagavad Gita is the, is the most sold spiritual literature in the world. So Krishna assuming the role of a guru. And then same Arjuna, and when it is said that when Subhadra, Krishna's sister, one day when Arjuna was in Dwaraka, Subhadra and Arjuna, they just glanced at each other. And that it was like a love at first sight. Okay, so they just glanced at each other and they just fell in love. And then, but Balramji, he had already decided Subhadra's marriage with, Duryodhan. And now they glanced at each other and somebody else was also glancing at both of them. And who was he? Krishna. And when Krishna glanced at Subhadra and Arjun, so Krishna convinced, he actually made a plan, and he actually convinced Arjuna that how he should execute that plan. And he said that, this is how you should go. Come in the robes of this particular, and when my sister is going for this darshan of, you just carry her. That is kind of Kshatriya marriage being allowed in those cases with the, with the consent of Subhadra. And the entire plan was being made. So the Lord is a personality who understands us. Just see, many times God is portrayed as a personality who is the great one. He's waiting for that Kayamat Kadin, where he will just sitting with a scale, Papa and Punya, he will just measure, and he will either give us the eternal condemnation into hell or send us eternally to heaven to enjoy. God is far beyond that. God is not just a judge who is there to, condemn us on the Kayamat Kadin, on the doomsday. The Lord is great, and the same Lord is sweet personality. Correct. So this is how Krishna is. So the same Lord appears in our heart. Sarvasya chaham hridisannivishto mattah smrutir jnanam apohanam cha. Vedaischa sarvairahameva vedyo Vedanta krit veda videva chaham. That he's situated in everybody's heart. He's waiting. And Vedas, Bhagavatam gives the size of Paramatma in the heart. You know what is the size of Paramatma? Angushti matrena. Angushti matrena means the size of your thumb. That's quite a size, right? You do thumbs up. Okay. And just remember, this thumb, your thumb, is the size of Paramatma in your own heart here. Right? So this is the size of Paramatma. And what he is doing? Upadrashtacha anumantacha bharata bhokta maheshwara. He's constantly waiting. Just imagine when we go to somebody and he doesn't pay any attention to us. It's a great insult. Correct. We will just give up and we will just go away. But the Supreme Lord is constantly waiting, the same Supreme Lord. So the Supreme Lord is the one who has the wealth of relationships. The Lord have become, when somebody wants to accept Lord as his own son. Here we see Mata Yashoda, and he's the Mata Yashoda is being she is the mother of Krishna, and when Krishna became the son, such a beautiful pastimes. We see Damodar Leela, Mother Yashoda is binding Krishna, and there are so much beautiful pastimes. In fact, when Brahmaji came to visit Vrindavan, he was so mesmerized by the fortune of these Brajavasis, the kind of relationship they have. He spoke a very beautiful verse. He says, Aho tidhanya vrajagoramanya stannamritam pitamativate muda. Aho atidhanya vrajagoramanya. What to speak of the fortune of the cows and the mothers of Vrindavan who are breastfeeding the Supreme Lord. Aho bhagyam nanda gopa vrajaukasam yan mitram paramanandam purnam brahmam sanatanam. So the beauty with the Lord is, he's not just great, he's equally sweet. So when Krishna, he says in Bhagavad Gita, he says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksha ichhami mashuchaha. Don't worry about your sinful activities. Just surrender unto me. I will take care of all the sinful reactions. Oh, I mean, what we need more assurance. So this is the wealth of relationship. Here we see another picture of Radha and Krishna. So somebody is accepting the Supreme Lord as the lover, and none other than Radharani is accepting. And then the Lord is performing such amazing pastimes. Here is this aunt of Krishna, Kunti Maharani, and she is offering various prayers. So when we want to have the deep relationship, let us have that relationship with the Lord. And this deep relationship with the Lord is revived by chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So when we chant this Mahamantra, there is no rule, no regulation to chant. Tatrarpita niyamitaha nasmarane na kalaha. We can chant at any time, any place, any condition. There is no rule, absolutely. Of course, we want to take the more advantage and the advance more swiftly. That is, there are certain do's and don'ts. But for the sake of chanting, there is no rule. And this is the process which will revive our relationship with the Supreme Lord. Mind you, every jiva has a relationship with the Supreme Lord. That is called as Swarupa. Just like we have, the relationship in the material world, similarly, there is a relationship in the spiritual world. And this relationship can be revived by chanting the holy names. So this is the wealth of relationship. Next we see the wealth of Vatsalyata. The Supreme Lord is so dear, the devotees are so dear to his, him. When Draupadi, she was in a very precarious condition. Her 5 husbands completely defeated, all powerful warriors, they are stunned aside. And and this Dushasana, who was a mighty warrior himself, trying to disrobe her of clothes. And she realized that now nobody is going to save me from this. And then Draupadi, she just raised her hands. Bilva Mangal Thakur, he makes a very beautiful commentary on this. He says, he says that this Krishna, Krishna means here, the Supreme Lord and his devotee also. And she just began to Agre Kuruna Matha Pandavanam Dushyasanena Ritavastra Kesham Krishna Tadakrosha Ananyanatha Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. So she's, it's here, her condition is being explained. Agre Kurunam Ath Pandavanam, in front of the Kurus and the Pandavas, Dushyasanena Rita Vastra Kesha. Dushasana, he just dragged her with her hair and he was trying to disrobe. Dushyasanena Rita Vastra Kesha. Krishna, now here Krishna is the name of Draupadi because she was so Krishna conscious that, her another name was Krishna. Krishna Tadakrosha Ananyanatha. She just began to loudly cry, realizing I have no other, protector. I have no other Nath, Ananyanatha. And she just raised her hands and loudly cried, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Hey Govinda, hey Damodara, hey Madhava. And it is said that time Krishna was sitting in Dwaraka. His queens were, doing chamar to him, and he was eating nice kheer, and he was, there is Rukmini doing chamar, Satyabhama, and all the queens, Jambavati, Mitravin, and suddenly Krishna just got up, and the queen was just wondering what happened to him. He just got up and just vanished. And he said that he just came to the assembly and he was so angry, the Lord. He felt that if I enter the assembly, I will destroy everyone, including Pandavas. So let me not enter the assembly. And therefore, to protect his own devotee, Draupadi, the Lord expanded as, the sari incarnation of the Lord. So this is very, this is very dear pastime to the devotees, saying that finally it is only the Supreme Lord who is going to save us. This is the Bhakta Vatsalyata of the Supreme Lord. This is a wealth. And here we see another poor friend of Krishna, Sudama is coming and visiting. And in fact, Sudama was so poor, you'll realize money is such an important game changer in this world. In fact, Kali Yuga, it is said, Vittameva kalau gunan janma achara gunodaya. Right. So, and here we see the poor, very extremely poor Brahmana, who was actually once upon a time a classmate of Krishna. And when Krishna heard Sudama is there on the outskirts of Dwaraka, he just ran. He just forgot that, his uttari is supposed to, he was wearing a uttari, I mean the outer cloth, they have uttari. That also just fell down. He forgot to wear even the chappals. He was just running across Dwaraka because, Sudama was there on the outskirts of Dwaraka, and all Dwaraka was just saying, Arey, what Krishna is doing? We have never seen him like this. And he just embraced this Brahmana, who was a very, very poor personality, whose friend got him his place. He was worshipping him in a most respectful manner, washing the feet of, his own friend. And, you can see here tears of the love that is, through the eyes. So this is the wealth of Bhakta Vatsalyata. So when we become devotees, when we take on to chanting Hare Krishna, we should know that we are accepting such a sweet Lord in our life. So this is wealth. And finally, same Supreme Lord is available in the form of holy name. So this is the wealth of his holy names. Here is the story of Ajamil, who was a very crooked personality, but somehow at the time of his death, he named his, he just shouted the names of Narayana, his own son's name. Incidentally, he had kept the son's name as Narayan. And, whenever I give this, some classes like this, I always ask students, I ask them their name, I ask them their father's name, and I ask them their grandfather's name. Okay. And you will see, especially everybody's grandfather's name was something either to Krishna, Rama, or Shiva. Now here also somebody can sample, we can take, or you can take this review later, that you just ask your grandfather's name. It will be like Maharudra, Lakshmi Narayan, Venu Prasad, Venu Madhav, or, it will be Vaibhav Prabhu. What is your grandfather's name? I mean, I can see you only here now.
Guruji, Devi Dutt.
Yeah, right. So Lord Dattatreya is also there. So why? Because people, they failed. Somebody has raised hand. Okay. They failed because the chanting the holy names is so powerful. right? So as soon as he chanted Narayana, suddenly the 4 Vishnudutas came. And why 4? Vaishnava Acharya gives commentary, because he chanted the 4-letter syllables Na, Na, Ra, Ya, Na. And that's why, because the 4 Vishnudutas came. So just imagine when we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, there will be practically a traffic jam of Vishnudutas, right? 32 letter syllables, 32 letter Mahamantra we are chanting. So the Lord promises this. And the same Lord, he comes and he comes in the form of his holy names. In Kali Yuga, the Lord has Kali Kale Namarupe Krishna Avatar. The Supreme Lord has incarnated himself. So this is the wealth of the holy names. And he has no expectations. When the Lord comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, especially in this Kali Yuga, correct? Krishna Varanam Tvisha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yadnyai Sankirtana Praye Yajanti Sumedasah. So the Supreme Lord, he says, Sambhavami Yuge Yuge, I will come. One yuga after every yuga I will come. So in this Kali Yuga, the incarnation of the Supreme Lord is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He comes, Krishna Varanam Tvisha Akrishnam. He comes in the bodily form, which is not exactly Ghanashyam, is Gauranga. Sango Pangastra Parshadam, and he comes with his eternal associates, Anga, Upanga, and Parshadam. Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar Pandit, then Shrivas Pandit. So he comes with them. Yadnyai Sankirtana Prayai. Other incarnations, they come with Shankha Chakra Gada Padma. Shankha and Padma is there to protect his devotees. Chakra and Gada is there to destroy the demons. But Kali Yuga, whom all he will destroy. In the same person, there is, the demon and the Sura and Asura are there in the same personality. So the Lord gives up his weapons and he comes with only one weapon. And what is that weapon? The weapon of the holy name. Sango Pangastra Parshadam. Yadnyai Sankirtana Prayai. And he inaugurates this Sankirtana Yagya. Srila Prabhupada, he gave this beautiful gift of Sankirtana Yagya. So Prabhupada said, there is no expectations. The expectation is only to perfect your life, purify your life, make your life happy life. That's it. We just want to make people happy. And how that happiness will come? You are in engineering first year, second year, incidentally, simply by being old, I have gone through all these phases. We feel that I will be happy after I pass first year engineering. I will be happy when I get placed in Google. I will be happy with 32 lakhs package when I get in, the Berkeley's or something like that. But mind you, we give programs there. We give programs to the Berkeley's bank and, these are these kind of the banks, Goldman Sachs, and people have problems there. So, but when we take on to the spiritual life, you will receive a complete happiness. And this is the ultimate wealth of the Supreme Lord. So we have seen that the Lord's wealth is not just from the wealth perspective. The Lord has the wealth of expectations, minimum expectations Lord has. Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam. Vaishnava Acharya says they are, if those who know Sanskrit, they are in the singular, ek vachan, patram, ek patta arpan karo, pushpam, ek fool arpan karo, phalam, ek phal arpan karo, toyam, pani ka ek boond arpan karo. It's ek vachan. Your Sanskrit we have ek vachan, dvivachan, bahuvachan. So the Lord is not even asking for multiple fruits. Patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam, yome bhaktya prayachati. Just offer it with devotion. And how to arrive, how to revive that devotion? Devotion is not something foreign to us. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunoy Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Karilaudai. So in Prabhupada says in his commentary, Prabhupada says this Krishna consciousness is not an artificial imposition on the mind or some intellectual adjustment that I have to believe I'm soul, I believe I'm soul. It is not like that. It is not some artificial imposition or intellectual adjustment. It is the natural propensity of the soul. Just like a fish outside water is unhappy, and we may give him Facebook, we may give him WhatsApp, we may give him Twitter, Insta, we may give him, something to smoke, something to booze, give a girlfriend also, and whatever you do, will the fish will be happy? Of course, when he gets it, he may try to be happy. He will try it. He will desperate, but he will be gasping for the water, right? Because that is what his natural position is. Similarly, the Supreme Lord says the natural position of a living entity is to return to Krishna consciousness. And when we return to Krishna consciousness, by especially chanting the holy names, by taking association of the devotees. So these are the very simple process that is being offered in our voices and the basis. When we do this, then what happens is one becomes extremely extremely happy and well situated. So we will conclude here. Thank you very much for your very kind association. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So we would like to thank Prabhuji for so wonderfully telling us about the opulence of wealth, giving a whole new dimension, telling us that how wealth is not just money, but wealth of relationships, how Krishna is a personal Lord. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for
So here we have received some grandfather's name, very beautiful. Kartik Chandra, Arjuna, father's name. There is Narayana, Jagannatha, right? Okay. So amazing, right? So this is, the purpose was that, even unconsciously, when we take the Lord's name, we will be, we will be chanting the names, and chanting the holy names is the crux of spirituality. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So let us all thank Prabhuji from the core of our heart by loudly chanting one time, Hari Bol.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for taking your time. And we would also like to thank Premanam Prabhuji for taking his time out today, and Hare Krishnanand Prabhuji also for being with us throughout the session today. Let us chant all the speakers for today by loudly chanting 3 times, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. So thank you all for joining with us for today's session. Tomorrow we will be hearing from 3 different speakers about the rest of the opulences. So please come on time at 4:30 tomorrow. And if you have not seen the question answer video of His Grace Radheshyam Prabhuji, so please take time to see that also. And there is a feedback form which is given in the Telegram group. Please fill it so that we'll be better able to serve all of you. Hare Krishna.